From News 3 Now, this is breaking news.
Breaking into the newsroom in just the last few minutes, we are hearing reports of a heavy police presence in East Madison.
Our Will Keneally is live on the scene. Will, what can you tell us?
Mark and Susan, so we're down here at the 3500 block of East Wash around a quick trip here where there's some kind of police presence. Police have been diverting traffic away from the scene and still describe it as a very active situation. From some of the business owners around here that we've talked to just in the last few minutes here, they describe exactly the same thing. A large police presence. Police are not telling them to shelter in place just yet, but they have heard someone with a megaphone talk and go in, something that sounded like a negotiator. Like we were saying before, it's still a very active scene. Traffic, again, backed up a couple of blocks on East Wash, headed eastbound on East Wash. So the recommendation here is just to avoid the area. We'll be continuing to report, throughout the night as we hear more of what's going on at this scene here in East Madison. But for now, Will Keneally reporting from the East Side, News 3 Now.
All right, we'll bring you updates if warranted in this half hour. Will, thank you.
On the air and online, always at channel3000.com. And also breaking, police are now investigating a death in East Madison that happened earlier this week as a homicide.
Detectives have identified the suspect, but he is not in custody. Investigators are looking for 39-year-old Justin Kopmeyer. He's considered armed and dangerous, so if you see him, call 911 immediately. Police say he has ties to Madison, Lodi, Baraboo, Beaver Dam, and Belleville. The victim, a woman in her 40s, was found dead inside a home in the 3400 block of Richard Street. That's near Olbrook Botanical Gardens on Wednesday. Today, the Dane County Medical Examiner's Office ruled her death a homicide.
Let's get a check on the weather now. Julian Seawright is out on the weather patio with the weekend details. Julian?
That's right, and at least for the weekend it'll be better, but right now the chill is definitely on, and we're going to be dealing with this throughout the rest of tonight. Cloud cover has built its way into southern Wisconsin. We had some sunshine, but that was very short-lived. Heading into the next few hours, it's not just going to be cloudy, but we are tracking some snow showers that will develop as we get into the evening hours, and those temperatures will stay steady into the lower 20s as we get into the later parts of tonight, but we'll start to fall into the teens once we get into the overnight hours. So right now it's 21 in Madison, 27 for Janesville, and about 23 for Platteville, and wind speeds aren't too bad, but they're just enough to be knocking our wind chills to feel like it's 11 degrees outside here in Madison, 20 for Janesville, and about 23 for Platteville. So it's definitely another cold night that we're going to be entailed for, but should be definitely bundling up. Taking a look at our radar. So we are going to be tracking some snow showers rolling its way in, and a bit more from that system that's just to the south, bringing in some snow just in parts of Iowa and northern parts of Illinois. We're going to see that development over the next couple of hours. Planning out tonight, we're going to see our temperature slide into around 16 degrees for us, and any snow showers that we will see will end just around midnight. So the overnight hours and going to Saturday morning, we're not going to be too worried about seeing much in terms of precipitation. We are looking for a low around 26 in Janesville and about 21 in Platteville. We'll walk through more details of how we can plan out this weekend in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
Julian, thank you. Today marks 1 year since Russia invaded Ukraine, and U.S. officials announced new measures to help the war-torn country.
That amounts to a $2 billion package, which includes more ammunition and small high-tech drones. This latest package brings the total U.S. commitment to more than $32 billion. The White House also announced a coordinated effort with G7 partners, allowing for new sanctions targeting key sectors of the Russian economy and more than 200 people and organizations.
If Russia stops fighting and leaves Ukraine, the war ends. If Ukraine stops fighting, Ukraine ends.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky marked the first year of the war, saying that his country could defeat Russia if allies remain united and keep providing arms. Today, China also unveiled a 12-point plan calling for Russia-Ukraine peace talks and ending sanctions against the Kremlin. Zelensky says he's planning to meet Chinese leader Xi Jinping.
Meanwhile, protesters around the world are calling on Russia to stop the conflict. Today, hundreds of Ukrainians in Australia marched through major cities rallying against Russia. In Thailand, Ukrainians sang their national anthem, raising their flag outside the embassy in Bangkok. Anti-war protesters in Belgium lit candles And in London, protesters painted a Ukrainian flag on the road leading to the Russian embassy. German activists also dumped a destroyed Russian tank outside the embassy in Berlin. The anniversary comes with tears and heartbreak for many right here in Dane County.
Over the last year, we've covered extensively the stories of Ukrainians uprooted from their homes and resettling in the Madison area. Naomi Cole sat down today with one of the first of them to arrive. Naomi?
Susan, we've told the story of Snezana Bykova before and her children. They were one of the first families to flee the war to Dane County, arriving on March 6th last year. Since then, the children have adjusted quickly to life in the States, but for Snezana, her heart remains in Ukraine, where her husband and other family members had to remain behind. She just came back from her first trip home in 10 months. I asked her, what does today mean to you?
For me, it's like one day that lasts forever. And now I realize that probably this the longest day in my life will still continue.
I also asked her, what is your message to the world? And she pointed to President Biden's surprise visit to Ukraine just days ago and said those are the demonstrations of support she urges on all world leaders who stand with Ukraine.
I love the way Snezana said that, Naomi, and thank you very much. Of course, you'll hear much more of Naomi's whole conversation with Snezana this Sunday on For the Record. It's right after Face the Nation, Sunday morning at 10:30. The former South Carolina attorney charged with murdering his wife and son spent a second day on the witness stand facing hours of withering cross-examination. Michael George takes us to the courtroom.
The prosecutor grilled Alec Murdaugh on Thursday's courtroom bombshell when the once prominent South Carolina attorney admitted to lying about the last time he saw his wife and son.
You were at the murder scene with the victims just minutes before they died.
It was Murdaugh's second day on the witness stand, where he acknowledged stating that lie in his first interview with police, blaming paranoid thinking.
When I got to thinking in that paranoid way, it didn't go away in a matter of seconds. And I decided to lie.
The prosecution took Murdaugh through a minute-by-minute timeline of his activities the night of the murders, suggesting he was busy creating an alibi.
I never manufactured any alibi in any way, shape, or form because I did not and would not hurt my wife and my child. So I know for a fact that I never, ever, ever created an alibi.
Murdaugh also talked about his struggle with opioid addiction, wiping away tears as he described his attempts to quit.
Just detoxing just didn't work.
He blamed that addiction for causing him to steal from his clients for years.
When you're doing the things wrong that I was doing, you have all kind of ways of justifying it. And I'm not saying that makes it right by any means.
The case is likely to go to the jury next week, with Murdaugh facing 30 years to life in prison if convicted. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
In addition to murder, Murdaugh is charged with about 100 other crimes, ranging from stealing from clients to tax evasion.
Janesville police have responded to 6 shots fired calls since mid-December, but the department says they're working with the community to prevent that series from continuing. The most recent one was on February 11th after a fight broke out at a party. Just a few days before, gunshots were fired again outside of Riley's Sports Bar and Grill. Police are still investigating why the calls have been so frequent, but say the incidents are largely unrelated.
There's no above average risk to the general public. A lot of these incidents were isolated to people at certain locations participating in certain behaviors.
Since those incidents, they're increasing bar checks and working with local bars to educate staff on dealing with problematic customers. They encourage anyone with information on any crime to contact the department or report it anonymously through Janesville's area Crime Stoppers.
Parts of East Washington Avenue and Baldwin Street on the Isthmus were closed this morning as crews responded to a fire at a coffee house in the area. A barista at EVP Coffee on the east side reported a fire inside a gas-powered coffee bean roaster around 9:15. The fire was contained to the roaster and a small amount of ductwork. When crews arrived, the fire was eventually put out and and the roaster was removed from the building. No injuries were reported. Meanwhile, we're learning new details about what happened in Brooklyn on Election Day, forcing a change in the polling location there. 75-year-old Paul Douglas was arrested Tuesday after he allegedly fired a gun in the area. Court records show Douglas also repeatedly threatened to shoot people if they tried to cut down a tree on his property. During a phone call with Greene County dispatchers, he has since been charged with terrorist threats, recklessly endangering safety, and disorderly conduct.
Flags will fly at half-staff Sunday in honor of Lake Mills Fire Chief Todd Yandry. Yandry passed away suddenly during a cardiac event last week. He was a 41-year veteran of the Lake Mills Fire Department. In a statement, Governor Tony Evers described Yandry as a, quote, caring and loyal friend, mentor, coach, husband, father, and grandfather who was dedicated to serving his community. Funeral services will be held on Sunday in Lake Mills, and we will be right back.
Us. This isn't us, is it? Uh-huh. Let's take a break from our devices for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes. And let's see what we find. Hey, bud. US Cellular. Built for us.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. We've got all your automotive needs covered, from tools and accessories to maintenance and everything in between. Wiper blades? Copy that. Motor oil? Done. Trust Menards to help out with all of your automotive needs. Get superior engine protection with Valvoline Daily Protection Motor Oil. It's formulated with advanced additives for year-round engine protection. Pick up a quart today for just $3.99 after rebate at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Nothing beats a great night's sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic mattress from Steinhoffels. Tempur-Pedic mattresses are designed to make aches and pains a thing of the past by relieving pressure points and supporting the body as no other mattress can. Right now, save up to $500 on adjustable base sets, plus get $300 in Steinhoffels cash. Queen Tempur-Pedics start at just $38 per month when you use Steinhoffels 72-month financing. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com.
I became an orthopedic surgeon for a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons. To help you take walks again. To ease your pain. To rebuild your strength. And at every step along the way,
we take the time to answer all your questions.
We're here because we care. We care about you. You.
You. They care about me.
Sauk Prairie Healthcare Orthopedics, now offering robotic-assisted knee replacement. Memories matter.
This bend on Cox Hollow Lake was one of Dad's favorite fishing holes. Crest Funeral and Cremation Service helped us make sure he's never forgotten. Making it personal. It's how you heal. We are Crest. We truly believe your memories matter.
I just got the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra from US Cellular. With nightography, it can take selfies in low light. Click.
Amazing. Can it go back in the bag?
Yeah, it can go back in the bag.
Okay.
The new Samsung Galaxy S23, free for everyone from US Cellular.
Big money is flowing into the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. We're looking into how political parties are getting involved in what's supposed to be a nonpartisan race. And after 6 shots fired calls since December, how Janesville PD plans to keep residents safe there tonight at 6.
When the snow flies in bike-friendly Madison, avid cyclists just keep on pedaling.
It's a good time.
News 3 Now's Tahalil Muhaddin finds out what it takes from must-have gear to safety tips. Hitting the road with snow bikers, Monday at 10. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
As we close Heart Month in February and head into Women's History Month in March, it's a time to share important information about heart disease signs for women. One woman is sharing her battle with heart disease in an effort to raise awareness for others. Our Catherine Merck shares her story and the advice from doctors to protect your own heart.
In my 20s, I was diagnosed with heart disease. It wasn't until after I lost a sister who was only 31 that I learned the extensive cardiovascular history on my maternal side.
Shamika Campbell is one of the many women in our country who experienced heart disease. At Friday's Go Red for Women luncheon, Shamika shared her own story and had a message for everyone listening.
I'm urging people to take their health more seriously and understand the importance of knowing the heart health or just health overall for your family history.
Heart disease impacts over 60 million women, and 1 in 5 women die from heart disease, even though it's primarily known as a disease that impacts men.
Heart disease is the #1 killer for women.
Dr. Aga Silbert is a cardiologist at UW Health. She told me knowing your family's heart history is the first step in keeping your heart healthy at any age.
I think what was striking in her story was the education, the part where she was learning about things. And as she was learning about what are the possible problems, she was becoming empowered.
Her story is so impactful because it reminds all of us, especially people of my age, that you don't have to be an older individual to suffer from cardiac events.
Shamika believes that by telling people about her own journey with this disease, other women will also have the chance of catching it early and beating it.
The message that I want to send today is know your family health history as well as listen to your body and make necessary changes to your health if needed.
Reporting in Madison, I'm Catherine Merck with News 3 Now.
Let's get a look now at your first Warren forecast. Julian Seawright has it for us. A little snow this evening, Julian.
That's right, Mark. A little bit of snow is on the way for us, but until then, at least we can enjoy the quiet that we've had, at least for the last few hours. Getting into the 3 things we'll need to know as we're gearing up for the weekend. Well, that's the best part. The weekend weather is actually going to be rather nice for us. We are going to be seeing some brief bout of snow later this evening that'll lead into the rest of our Friday nights, but we'll look to end around midnight. Then for the weekend, it is going to be warmer and much more sunshine in our forecast. We're looking mid-30s to the low 40s from Saturday to Sunday, but then Sunday, we're also going to be setting up for our next weather maker. Looking for some rain that could be heavy rolling into our Sunday night, transitioning into our Monday. But right now, this is what we're seeing. Still dry here in Madison and throughout much of southern Wisconsin. A couple of flurries just south of the Dells, but we're not looking at the snow to start just yet. But over the next couple of hours, we could start to see a few flakes. It's going to be around 16 degrees to see our low for tonight here in Madison, around 26 in Janesville and 21 for Platteville. So another cold night is on tap, but not as cold as it was last night. We're beating out of the single digits. We're going to now be into the teens. Here's a look at our weekend forecast. 35 degrees for Saturday. We're going to see partly sunny skies. It's not going to be nearly as cold as it was for today. And Sunday, even better. Middle 40s, setting us up for a nice day, especially throughout the course of it, because we're still dealing with sunshine and the 40s throughout our Sunday afternoon until we start to see that cloud cover build getting into our Sunday night. Now, planning out tomorrow, we're going to see the 30s throughout much of southern Wisconsin, and as I have been bouncing, we're going to be talking about lots of sunshine throughout our Saturday as well. So quiet conditions for the weekend, but for tonight, we still have to deal with snow. That's right. We just can't get out of the snow forecast because it's still going to be sticking around for us throughout the late evening. Around 8 o'clock, we're going to start to see this band start to push its way from the south into southern Wisconsin and stick around for us throughout much of our Friday nights until about midnight. Then, setting things up for Saturday morning, still going to be on the chillier side, but cloud cover is going to start to break once we get into our Saturday afternoon. Southerly winds will roll its way in, bringing us some more warmer air, sticking around throughout much of our Saturday afternoon and evening. Temperatures will fall into the 20s and be rather steady going to Saturday night into our Sunday morning, and still sunny until we get into our Sunday afternoon. How much snow are we going to be expecting from this small little band? Not a whole lot. Some areas could see close to an inch, but it's mainly going to be north and around the Dells and northern areas like Camp Douglas, Juneau, and Adams County, and towards the La Crosse area. But for us, we could see mainly a dusting or even just a nice little decorative snowfall from this small little band. Outside of that, we're still going to be watching for our next weather system, which is going to be a very wet one and could cause some local rivers to start to flood just a bit, but it's something to watch for because of the heavy amounts of rainfall we're going to be watching. Outside of that, though, no alert days in the forecast. Temperatures in the 40s for the next few days. Heading into next week, we're actually going to be rather seasonable as well, as temperatures will be into the middle 30s, but we're still looking for an active weather pattern, bringing us not just rain, but snow as well. Here's a look at our traffic just real quickly. Things are rather smooth along the Beltline. Just some of the ramps are a bit on the slower spot, but otherwise, we're all good going across for our traffic. That's going to do for our traffic and weather. Back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. If you're just joining us tonight at 5, we're following a developing situation. Breaking news, there is a heavy police presence just off of East Washington Avenue.
Our Will Keneally is live on the scene. Will, what have you learned?
Mark and Susan, we're still looking at a very active scene here on the 3500 block of East Wash. Just within the last hour, we heard some kind of incident at the Quick Trip here, and we're still waiting for confirmation exactly what that incident is. But police are blocking traffic in the nearby area, about a couple of blocks on either side of this Quick Trip here on East Wash. All we know so far right now is that there's a large police presence that you can see here. Nearby businesses have not been told to shelter in place, so we don't know exactly the extent there. But we did hear from at a nearby pre-owned business that they did see some SWAT teams arrive, about a dozen squad cars, somebody go in with a megaphone, possibly a negotiator talking. And so we should be seeing that video that was shot earlier today on your screen now. We're still waiting for confirmation from Madison Police about what exactly this incident is, but we'll report once we hear that confirmation and throughout the night. So stay tuned to News 3 Now here and online at channel3000.com. But for now, reporting from the east side, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Well, the video we were just seeing saw traffic moving on East Washington Avenue. As far as you know, is the street blocked? Is traffic stopped?
That's correct. That's what we've been hearing from some of the police at the scene. And my photographer here, we had to park a couple of blocks away and walk into the scene here that we are seeing now. So generally, if you're trying to get home a Friday, trying to move anywhere in the east side here, the best would be to avoid East Washington Avenue around the 3500 block here.
Absolutely, you want to avoid that area. Will, thank you. This is breaking news, and we will continue to bring you live updates tonight at 6 and 10. We also have more on our website, channel3000.com, and our news app, so be sure to download it in your app store, and we'll be right back.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Join the Circle of Life at the Lion King. Experience the world's #1 musical. Don't miss your chance to see The Lion King, one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
Extremist Dan Kelly wants abortion banned, even in cases of rape, incest, and the health of the mother. For years, Kelly was on the payroll of a radical anti-abortion group working to take away women's rights. On the court, Kelly will uphold Wisconsin's 1849 criminal abortion ban that strips women of their freedom to make personal decisions on abortion. Dan Kelly, an extremist who doesn't care about us.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that.
Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
You know what that sound means. It's spring break at Bob's Discount Furniture, and I've got fresh new dining furniture that will make you a hosting hero. My collections serve major style. Many come in dining and counter heights, include 6 chairs. Keep storage on the menu, and with my everyday low prices, complete sets start at just $5.99. Take a break from overpriced stores and stressful haggling this spring break at Bob's. What's that? A tiny dining set for birds? Genius!
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
A key consumer spending report shows inflation may be picking up speed again.
And that is raising concerns that efforts to fight inflation could stall economic growth. Chris Wynn is tracking the trends and explains what it means for your wallet.
For Americans struggling with the rising cost of living, a hotter than expected inflation gauge will only make it worse.
I'm not making ends meet. I'm not making it. I'm spending my savings. I get paid tomorrow, and already my whole paycheck is spoken for.
The Core Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index showed prices rising 0.6% on a monthly basis and 4.7% for the 12 months ending in January. It's the first time the index has ticked up in 3 months. Stocks plunged Friday morning as the report adds pressure on the Federal Reserve to continue with its rate hiking campaign.
The Fed, look, I have all respect for Jay Powell, but the fact is we lost a little bit of control of inflation. Models didn't pick that up.
But inflation is focused on services like hotels and meals out. Meanwhile, goods prices continued falling, dropping 0.7% from the previous month, and consumer sentiment is on the rise. Also released Friday, the closely watched University of Michigan's survey of consumers shows people are feeling better about the economy. Still, many fear inflation will be higher in the near term.
I think that's the hardest thing is what were considered luxuries that weren't even really that luxurious. We just can't afford it anymore.
In Washington, D.C., I'm Chris Wynn.
We'll get a final check on your weekend forecast when we come back.
Ashley's President's Day Mattress Blowout event is ending soon. It's your last chance to save up to 75% on mattress doorbusters from the top brands while they last. Or save big on Purple and Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets, only at Wisconsin's #1 mattress retailer, Ashley.
You've got this. Your big moment on their big day. The dress? Another one you'll never wear. Gift? Practical. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you get invited to your 3rd destination wedding in as many months, we'll be there with you.
When we first met Todd, we thought Jen was kidding.
You've got this with Associated Bank.
A supper club, a place that serves supper. We started off with a house coffee, garden salad, a potatoes au gratin, bacon wrapped scallops. Hello, little friends. Old fashioned. That's superior.
Lean back and save big this winter at the Century House. Right now, save hundreds going from one grade of stressless leather to a superior grade for free. Or save $300 and get a free battery when you purchase any stressless mic or stressless max motorized recliner or any stressless classic power recliner. Don't miss out. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
As a veteran of our country's armed services, you have already made the ultimate sacrifice. Why should you have to continue to do that? Through no fault of your own, you may be experiencing hardships, such as the inability to pay rent, utilities, or receive other life-sustaining services. And once again, you're called upon by your family to serve and protect. We want you to know we are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. It's not easy to ask for a hand up, but we are clear in our mission. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat, power, or water again. 833-WISC-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727.
It's your last chance to shop Ashley's biggest President's Day sale. Get the guaranteed lowest prices of the season, starting at 30% and up to 60% off furniture and mattress doorbusters. Plus 60-month special financing and delivery in as fast as 3 days on in-stock merchandise. Sale ends Tuesday at Ashley.
Here's Julian with the final look at the forecast. A mostly nice weekend.
Yeah, not too bad. There's going to be plenty of sunshine. Temperatures will be pretty normal for Saturday, but Sunday, you're going to love the 40s, especially getting into our Sunday afternoon. But then we're all going to be anticipating our next system to be rolling in some rain for Sunday nights into our Monday. So it's going to be rather wet heading into our Monday morning, and for our Monday nights, we have another opportunity for, yes, that's right, more snow. Another active week next week, but temperatures will be in the 40s, so it won't be too bad at least.
And a little snow this evening.
Yeah, that's right. So we do have a little bit of snow that's going to be coming in this evening. The good news is, though, folks, we are going to be looking at it to be very decorative, not going to be interrupting much in terms of, oh, we're getting another dump of snowfall.
No, that's good news.
Yeah.
But then next week is another very active weather week.
Absolutely. So we're going to have to be monitoring if it's just going to be snow, if it's going to be freezing rain, or if it's more snow that's going to accumulate that could be bringing us 2-3 inches of snowfall. It's one thing we're going to be watching here in the first one with the team.
We kind of a quick update on our breaking news on Madison's east side. There's a heavy police presence on the 3500 block of East Washington Avenue.
If you're heading downtown on this Friday evening, you're going to want to avoid the area. Parts of East Washington Avenue are blocked off while police deal with this developing situation.
It's not a lockdown in the area, so we're not quite sure what's going on, but obviously something is. So as Susan mentioned, avoid that area. And we will keep you up to date on this breaking news at 6 o'clock or before that if conditions warrant.
Yeah, always on channel3000.com. So stay tuned to that. This is a live picture, by the way, of the scene. We hope to have more details for you when you join us tonight at 6, if not before then.
Yeah, and our Will Keneally is there. Information is coming out very slowly. And as I say, the area is not locked down, so I'm not sure what that tells us, but avoid that area. And a little snow coming in, too. That's going to make things a little slippery as well.
Yeah, not the best idea for it, so.
All right, we'll keep you posted. Channel3000.com and coming up again at 6 o'clock.
Until then, thank you for watching, everybody. Have a good weekend. We hope to see you back here tonight at 6. The CBS Evening News is coming up next.